So we have the strongest weapons in the game. We have a new armor set with high level ceilings for power. We just took out our fiercest foe yet, and a lot of us seem to be hungry for even more. There's still more content to come, but we don't want to wait to have a reason to jump back into the world of Monster Hunter. So where do we go from here? There's quite a few things we can do to stay sharp, improve our strengths, and be prepared for what's to come in the future. Let's dive in and see what to do in Monster Hunter post-Safi''jiiva. First, you can do something that I myself need to do big time. That would be upgrading and finishing my charms. Charms are the wild card or joker in your hand when you're putting together a build. If you have a skill that you want so bad, but just hate the armor pieces you're forced to use to get it, reach up your sleeve, pull that wild card out, and slot it into your build. The problem is that you never really realize just how many charms you need to upgrade or finish until you need to use that charm. I have all of the elemental attack charms done, except when I was going to use my Safi Hellhorn, I threw on that fire attack charm and noticed it wasn't fully upgraded yet. Don't be like me. Be proactive and productive with your time. Take a look at your charms, see what ones you could realistically see yourself using or needing, or even the ones that are popular in builds, and take the time to gather the required mats for upgrading them. I know I just recently put out a video about Gunlance, and I can't begin to tell you just how incredible it is to be able to use that guard charm and not have to use any of the armor pieces to get it, even though there's a few decent pieces that are generous with their slots. To make a long story short, you're probably going to be fleshing out a build and run into a time where you might not have the space or that super rare deco you need to slot in that skill. That's where charms come in to change the game. The more charms you have available, the more flexible you can be. Speaking of super rare decos, the next thing I would point you in the direction of is getting back on the old decoration grind. We all know that the word grind has a pretty negative connotation in gaming, but for me, I don't mind grinding at all in Monster Hunter. If I have a purpose for doing so, that's all I need. You don't have to throw yourself into the difficulty of threat level 3 tempered monsters if that's not something you can consistently do. Threat level 2 monsters can still give you pretty clutch and well-rounded decorations. And let's be real, having multiple of quite a few of the level 4 decorations isn't such a bad thing at all. I know for myself I've used the Satiated Expert deco multiple times in many builds. Just be sure whenever you're doing anything, whether it's investigations or guiding lands, that you're picking up any and all tracks that come your way. Many people have monsters that they can just take out with ease and don't tend to have much trouble. But on the opposite end of that spectrum, many people also have monsters that they just seem to always have more trouble with. For myself, Bracky just seems to know exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing before I even do it myself. Like right now, after you heard me say that, you probably thought, really? Bracky is such a breeze. So for me, if I have tempered quests on that same level that aren't Bracky, I'm going to do those. I tend to stick to threat level 3 just to try and improve my skill, but as long as I keep picking up tracks, my options will be numerous. There's actually something you can do while you're farming up those decos too. Now that we have all these badass Safi weapons, this would be a beautiful opportunity to take that leap of faith and try a new weapon. Chances are you have at least one weapon from all of the weapon categories if you spent even a decent amount of time doing the Safi Siege. So why not take that all-powerful weapon and take it out for a spin? I myself have been using the Greatsword and trying to get better with it. Hop on this here YouTubes and find yourself a guide that you like. Now that you know the basics and in-between of said weapon, go into the guiding lands and bulk up on some mats. Take it into tempered investigations and farm up those decos. You literally have the best weapon available in the category, and if you still have Dracolite available, you can jack that attack up even more to compensate for your current level of skill and experience. Even if you don't happen to have a Safi weapon for the category you'd like to try out, take the time out to craft your preferred option and get moving on getting good with it. You can even record your gameplay sessions with it and put together a training montage showing your success or failure. I've said even way back when I started making content that trying out and learning a new weapon category does wonders in extending the replayability of Monster Hunter and can completely turn hunts on their heads as far as how you approach them. Certain weapon categories have better matchups against certain monsters, and exploring what those matchups are can be extremely fun. I myself would have to recommend a weapon by the name of the Hunting Horn. Now that you have a fancy new weapon category that you never knew you would enjoy so much, take that bad boy into the Guiding Lands and just start to stock up on as many materials as you can. If you're the type of person who likes to have augments on your weapons, because who wouldn't, start getting your zone levels to proper positioning for those augments you love. I know that for myself, I absolutely love having health augments on my lances, so I recently made sure to gather up on a lot of Namiel parts while I have my Coral Highlands at level 7. Attack augments are obviously popular picks as well, so if you don't know what mats to stock up on currently, get on the Google machine and see what you need for your preferred augments of choice and get to it. Not only will you have an abundance of mats for augments, but you'll also be putting yourself in great position to finish upgrading that first thing I recommended you do in this video. The Guiding Lands surely is an absolute grind fest, but with how beautiful the zones are and the combinations of monsters that you might not see outside of it, it's worth every bit of the grind. I know there's going to be people that disagree with that and will never be a fan of the grind, but it's just unavoidable. Be sure to squeeze in geology into your build as well while you're in the Guiding Lands. The final thing that I would recommend is a bit independent of all those other things I just recommended, but is absolutely as important and can have a widespreading impact. Now that a lot of us are in the position to where we have these powerful weapons and armor, why not spread some good vibes and help people out in their low rank and high rank journeys? You never know the amount of impact you can have by simply assisting someone on a hunt. This might be a hunt that they've been stuck on for quite some time, and after numerous attempts, they were ready to call it quits. There you come in like a knight in shining armor to help guide them to the finish line and bring them closer to the current level of power and prowess that you enjoy. Not only can you do this because you're an awesome, helpful, and caring person, but you can also be rewarded for doing it. You can start to earn things like prints and pendants for your acts of generosity. Monster Hunter has become Capcom's best-selling series for a reason. It's a very fun and well-populated IP. You can help others and show them just how fun it can be and help to build the community even further. Speaking of building a community, all of you lovely hunting horn users can jump into these low rank and high rank quests to give people a first-hand glimpse of just how awesome the weapon is and maybe give their interest in it an extra tick. To somewhat piggyback off of that last piece of advice, if you're typically a strictly solo hunter, take this time to jump in with groups of people in their hunts. I know myself that I typically hunt things at a solo pace, but I have absolutely no problem jumping into a group hunt and feeling comfortable. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong if you would rather stick to solo hunting, but I also feel like you're missing out on a significant portion and dynamic of the game. Along with getting to engage in that dynamic, it'll help you be prepared to do things like siege events that require you to do it in a group. There are fantastic rewards, weaponry, and armor to be gained from these siege events, so deciding to stay away from them to avoid hunting in groups is going to be a very costly decision for you to make. I know people have anxiety when going into multiplayer events, so don't think I'm downplaying that. But if you can ease your way into getting comfortable with it, you definitely won't regret it. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I know that for a lot of people, the departure of safi'jiiva means another gap in their reasons to play, but that doesn't have to be the case. There's a lot of things that you can do now with your free time to help put you in a better position to get the most out of future updates and challenges that will be coming our way in Iceborne. Whether that be farming mats, stepping out of your comfort zone to try out a new weapon, or join up with fellow hunters, or helping out some of the current low rank and high rank hunters making their way to master rank. There's still a lot we can do in the post-Safi era. I made a community post talking about the idea of me doing a live playthrough of Monster Hunter World on the PC. This would be base world and Iceborne. As I stated in the post, this would not mean that I'll be abandoning console. There will still be plenty of hosting parties on console and videos that are relevant to the state console is in. I would be doing the streams on YouTube because you are all awesome and I don't want any of you to miss out on coming to hang out if you can. And even if you can't come hang out live, don't worry, I'll be sure to upload every stream so you can watch it all at your own pace. If you like the video, please do let me know with a thumbs up. Comment down below what you'll be doing with your time in Monster Hunter post-Safi, and while you're at it, tell us what you think is coming down the line for Iceborne. The most popular and obvious guess is Kulve Taroth making a comeback, so try to stay away from that one. Subscribe if you haven't already for more Iceborne, Hunting Horn, and other kinds of Monster Hunter content. Dudes forever, have a good night, and happy hunting.